It's week 2 of college football bowl season. Just for a quick recap, Amanda and I both went 8-8 this past weekend. But we're giving Amanda the edge because on a throwaway she picked NC Central, to beat Jackson State. All because that receiver for Jackson State dropped a pass in the end zone, and
He was
whatever.
a tight end, Caleb. He was a tight end.
Tight ends can be received. I didn't say wide receiver. I just said receiver.
That's true.
So
Very true.
this week we are going to pick games from today all the way through Saturday, Christmas Eve. First game today, the only game today, is Marshall and UConn. Marshall's an 11.5-point favorite. The over-under is at 40.5. And Amanda, where are you going with this?
So I don't like it when, I think I've said this before, when there's double-digit favorites. So I always take the underdog, especially when we're talking about Marshall. UConn, they're not great, but I don't think that they are 11.5 points below Marshall. So I'm going to take UConn with the points.
Okay, well, I totally disagree with you. I think Marshall is significantly better than UConn. So I'm actually, not to knock on the job that I think Jim Morrill Jr. has done at UConn, but I think that Marshall just has too much talent. As for the over-under, where are you going? It's at 40.5.
I know. Again, this is one of those things where it's like, does Vegas know something? Because I feel like that's low. It seems like it should be a very defensive game. So I'm gonna go the under.
So you're right. Both teams do play low-scoring games. I'm still taking the over because, look, I think UConn's defense, was only somewhat good, playing a much weaker schedule. I think Marshall's just going to score at will on them, even Marshall. So I'm actually going to take I'm calling for a blowout, funny enough, for Marshall on this one. So I'm going over. You're going under. Wow, we went totally opposite on these.
We did.
Okay, let's go on to Tuesday's famous Idaho Potato Bowl. On that blue turf in Boise, you've got Eastern Michigan and San Diego State. San Jose State.
Yes.
San Jose State is 3.5-point favorites. Over under is 53.5.
Ooh, this one is a rough one. I think I'm gonna take San Jose State on this one with the points, and I'm gonna go with the over.
You're taking San Jose State and the points?
Yep.
With the points, Okay, and you're going with the over. I'm also taking San Jose State with the points, but San Jose State's more of a defensive team, and since I think they're going to dictate the flow of the game, I'm going to go with the under on this one. So, again, we're actually starting off a lot more disagreeing than we were last week, which is kind of fun. Okay, so that's the first game for Tuesday. The second game for Tuesday is at 7:30 tomorrow night. You've got Liberty and Toledo. Toledo's a 4.5-point favorite. Over-under is 53.5. As you know, Hugh Freeze has the most wonderful human being on the face of the earth.
Don't you love him? Can't you love him? Sing his praises.
Yes, amazing. I mean, Liberty, this is a school that hired Hugh Freeze, and they hire Baylor's president, who got in trouble for the whole scandal with Art Briles in 2016. Just they hire the best people. But
they do.
They have a wave of opt-outs. They've lost out on Hugh Freeze, or they've lost Hugh Freeze to Auburn. Where are you going with this, Amanda?
I'm going with Toledo. And I think they're going to win big. I think that Liberty is still reeling over that Hugh Freeze loss. I think that they just won't show up for this game, and I'm taking Toledo with the points.
Okay, and what about over/under? It's set at 53.5.
I'm gonna go under. I feel like Liberty's not gonna show up, so.
Okay, I'm gonna go over, mainly because Toledo scores a lot, and Liberty, most of their key opt-outs are on defense, and so I just think that Toledo's offense is elite and will be playing air tomorrow up in Idaho, down in Florida. So I think that I got the over in that one. All right, we got Western Kentucky and South Alabama, and for a little bit of a tie, Western Kentucky is led by Tyson Helton, who was offensive coordinator for Tennessee, Jeremy Pruitt's first year before Jim Chaney came along and replaced him. But South Alabama is a 4.5-point favorite. Over under is 55.5. Western Kentucky's just been hit with a wave of opt outs. So where are you going?
South Alabama.
South
That's who
Alabama.
I'm taking South Alabama, and I'm taking the under.
You're really high on unders this week, aren't you?
I am. I know that makes me nervous. I don't. Really high on them though.
I'm still going to stick with Western Kentucky plus 4.5. I'm not going to take them to pull the outright upset, but I think they have enough firepower to hang with South Alabama. So I'm going to take Western Kentucky. And I'm actually going to take the over 55.5. Not taking Western Kentucky outright, but am taking them on the spread. Moving on, Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl in Texas. It's just Baylor and Air Force. Baylor's a 4.5-point favorite. Over-unders at 46.5. The only really key opt-out for Baylor is Devin Neal, their defensive back. Air Force has no opt-outs. I don't think service academies really deal with a lot of transfers or anything like that.
No.
So where are you going, Amanda?
I'm going Baylor, and I'm going the over on this one. I'm taking Baylor all day. I know they're back and forth, but this is basically, I feel like, a home game for them. And I just think, I don't know, I just think Baylor Air Force, I'm taking Baylor and taking the over.
So I get your point about it kind of being a home game because it's in Texas and it's in Fort Worth, but I actually think this being the Armed Forces Bowl, there will be a lot of military people around. So I actually think there's going to be more support for Air Force in this game, funny enough.
All right.
And I'm taking the under because I think Air Force is going to dictate the flow because they run the ball a lot and they're going to run the clock, and I think they'll kind of stay in control of the game. So that's going to be my Baylor Air Force pick. Let's move on to Friday. We've got the Independence Bowl on ESPN. This is at 3:00 Friday afternoon. This is Houston and Louisiana. Houston's a 6.5-point favorite. Over-under is 58.5. Amanda, where are you going? That's quote Dave Matthews.
I thought the Independence Bowl is at 6:30 on ESPN.
Oh,
and the other one's at 3.
I think you're right. No, I think the Gasparilla Bowl is at 6:30, isn't it?
I see it as 3, but I could be wrong.
It's Gasparilla Bowl's at 6:30, Independence Bowl's at 3.
Well, MSN has that wrong then, so they might want to get on that.
Yes. Yes, they do. They need to get on that. I was just going by the ESPN scoreboard. But yes, so we've got Houston and Louisiana for this one.
I'm going to take Houston.
With the 6.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Over under, where are you going?
What was the over under again?
58.5.
Oh, I'm going under.
Okay. I think Houston's going to dictate the flow of the game. Louisiana, I'm tempted to take the under because Louisiana has had, I think they don't have their starting quarterback playing in this game, but they've had the backups played half the season anyway. So I think he's ready. I'm still going to take Houston to cover the 6.5 too, but I'm going to go the over because I think Houston's just going to score at will. So I'm taking the over for Houston. Okay, so that night we've got Wake Forest and Missouri. Missouri has this is the Gasparilla Bowl. Missouri has a few opt-outs. This game is at 6:30 in Tampa, Florida. The main opt-out for Missouri is Dominic Lovett, their leading receiver. Nobody else is really that significant who opted out. So where are you going with this, Amanda?
I am taking Wake Forest with this. I'm taking Wake Forest. I think Missouri's a dumpster fire. I think it's going to show. And I know there's no real significant opt-outs, but I don't think there's really any significant players.
Okay, so the line is 1.5, so you got Wake Forest covering.
Yes.
where are you going with the over-under?
I'm going to go under again.
Okay.
Really feeling these unders for some reason this
Yeah,
week.
and also the under in this one is 59.5, or the over under is
Yeah.
59.5. So I'm feeling the under too. But believe it or not, I'm not just taking Missouri on the spread. I'm taking Missouri money line.
Really?
Yeah, Missouri. Again, they only have one key opt out. The underrated part of Missouri is their defensive line. They give a lot of teams hell. You can't throw out what Tennessee did to them. Tennessee's offense does that to a lot of people. And I think that they kept a lot of games close with the defensive line. Now, Wake Forest played a great defensive line in Clemson, and they actually almost won that game. So that's where you could take this with a caveat. But I think they were at home during that game, and this being in Tampa, I just think Missouri's going to be able to kind of control the flow of this game. So I've actually got Missouri money line to win outright. So yeah, I'm going Missouri, and I'm going it because their defensive line will control the flow of the game, which is why I'm also taking the under 59.5. So SEC homerism coming through, maybe. I don't know.
I see that. I see that.
If we count Missouri as the SEC.
You have to. They're in there.
And okay, so let's finish it off with Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. We got the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders, San Diego State Aztecs, a coach I respect in Rick Stockstill against a coach I have zero respect for in Brady Hoke.
He was the coach of Michigan for a while.
He was, and then as the interim coach of Tennessee, he kicked Juwan Jennings off the team. I don't think you have the right to kick a player off the team when you're in your last 2 weeks as a coach.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. I think there are some situations where, yes, it's warranted, but maybe
He
not
didn't
there.
like something Juwan Jennings put on Instagram.
Sorry. Yeah, that's probably not the right call there. But yes. Some situations, yes, but not that one.
Right. So the line is San Diego State 6.5. Over under is 49.5.
I'm taking MTSU.
Outright or just on the spread?
Just on the spread. I'm gonna take MTSU.
Okay, I agree. I'm taking MTSU on the spread too. I'm going to go under though, and the only reason I'm going to go under is this is a game out. Brady Hoke's a defensive coach. His teams only play defense. Massive time change for these guys flying out to Hawaii. I just think there's just going to be a little bit of sloppy play because of that. So I'm actually taking the under 49.5. What about you?
Gonna go over.
Wow, this is the one time you're going over.
I'm going over for this one time.
Okay, well, these are our picks through Christmas Eve. Amanda, I don't think we agreed on any of these, which is going to make this pretty epic.
Yeah, that's going to be good then. We'll see how we do.
Yes, we're giving you the tiebreaker for the first week. Obviously, next week we'll have the next week of bowls and separately college football, playoff, New Year's Six bowls, all that fun stuff. But yep, these are I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bowl games we predicted through this Saturday. So let's see how it all goes.
Yes, and everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, and we will see you after after Christmas for the next bowl picks.
Yes, we will. It'll be the day right after Christmas, that Monday, December the 26th.
That sounds good. All right, for Off the Hook Sports, I'm Amanda LaFratta. It's Caleb Calhoun, and we thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.